Boom, boom, you don't know. Okay, everybody, welcome. Oh my God. Forgot to change the subtitle. Embarrassing. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Gab with Sab. I'm actually going to make sure. Team. Welcome back to another episode of Gab with Sab. This is episode 10, titled Things That Give Me Paws. And things that give me paws. This is a recycled joke. I recycled it. You're welcome. I'm doing my part. Recycled joke from One Mike's Mike, who is famously one of the first channel shout outs on the channel, on my channel. I shouted out his channel because I just thought it would be really kind to give a modicum of my viewership to him, because I just I'm also giving back in that way. And so with that being said, let's get straight into it. First of all, I invented micro curtain bangs, and you can probably see them if you were looking at the video version of this podcast. I have chosen to leave them out of my beanie today, and I am not really sure how I'm feeling about it, so let me know in the comments down below. I just am curious, so yeah. Let me show you in contrast to tuck in these hoes in. Do I have ample forehead showing? I don't know. Hey, controversially, I think I'm going to leave them out. I can see them in my frame of vision, and they're not in my frames exactly. I can just see them with my eye. You know how it goes. So I also included for the video viewers some photo evidence of other people who allegedly purported to invent micro curtain bangs. None of them have been caught on record saying exactly that, but that doesn't mean they're not serving microbang realness. So when I first cut them, which you can see in the top left, I looked much more like Gus Dapperton on the cover of his album Orca. Thank you. When they get spread out quite nicely, my hair is not as thick as Oliver Tree's, and you'd have a hard time convincing me that's not a wig, but it looked a little Oliver Tree-esque. But I think the reality is that I'd look like Greta Thunberg. Because look at her, and look at me, and look at us. All my homegirls are micro-banged as fuck. Anyway, moving forward, something I'm saying lately is no doubt. It's an affirmative term, and I think this is especially fun to say when someone has said something that is very obvious, a very obvious comment about the situation, but you're like, why'd you say it like that? You're like, no doubt. There's a story I'll talk about later in this episode, having to do with talking to somebody about their job and big tech. And they were like, well, the job market's shit anyway. And I was like, yeah, no doubt. Right there with you, buddy, but sounds like you're coping. So that's a little teaser for later. A little clip, a little appetizer for your feast. And so the next part of your feast is me forcing the laughing emoji down your throat. I want to bring it back because it is just such a straightforward way to react and say that something is funny. And I am sick of having to try to come up with another emoji that tastefully and poignantly describes my feelings about it. I have been doing the double exclamation mark, which I mentioned last episode, but there have just been more times in recent history, and especially with people who are not chronically online, people in my life who have jobs, go to church maybe, I can't hit them with the nuance of the double exclamation mark all the time. Sometimes I just need a straightforward laughing emoji because they get it. It's about communicating to your audience. But I'm trying to bring it back with the Chronically Online group because I think it's so useful, because I've been dabbling back in it to communicate with other people, because I have such a wide and diverse network, obviously. And I just think that it's a very useful emoji, and maybe the emoji people can redesign a laughing emoji that is just different, but is also a laugh. And I guess you could say that all the other emojis are different, but also a laugh. You little bastards. So, let me go plug my keyboard in. She's dying. Okay, I can only go forward in slides now because I don't have my keyboard, so I can't go back and forth. Okay, next, speaking of poignant, somebody somewhere, no doubt, said Trump is evil, and I was like, that's exactly it. And that's exactly it. And I feel that evil is such a an appropriate word to use here because he is so like motivated by like selfishness and self-preservation and is willing to do that like at the expense of other people and their like well-being in their lives and like really like I think he just has gotten so used to playing with people's lives that he just like doesn't doesn't understand the cost anymore. And it's just like really unfortunate obviously to have somebody like that as the what do you call it, the surgeon general. That's not it, like the big red evil button pusher, the head of the state. Nope. Attorney at large. What am I thinking? If I had my keyboard, I'd look it up, but I don't, so I shan't. Basically, Trump is evil. This reminds me, I did go to the No Kings protest, and I just want to put that out here so that you guys know that we're where I'm at. I'm just trying to virtue signal to you right now, and I just like want you to really resonate with that, okay? And so I went to the No Kings rally, and it actually I have heard some criticism of the No Kings kind of crowd and movement, like it's a series of rallies or protests, and some people dispute whether or not they like will call it a protest. They're like it's kind of more of a party or like a parade. And I think that being critical of the way that we organize has a time and place. I feel that I saw a lot of criticism of it from like people on the left, like being like it wasn't good enough. Showing up to one protest is not activism, is not like activism has to be sustained. It's not a moment, it's a movement. And like so true, but I just feel like we could maybe sugarcoat it a little more. Like if you're I guess I don't know. I guess I'm like purporting to know better about like how to convince people to join a movement. And I think that saying it with a little more kindness, and maybe it depends on how you define kindness, because some people define kindness as like straightforwardness, that like I'm giving you the kindness of like communicating to you authentically or clearly, giving you the privilege into my thoughts and feelings, whatever those may be. But other people might see kindness as trying to like, you know, compliment sandwich something or use a particular strategy when talking to somebody so that it like lands a little nicer, to butter them up. Some people say that's manipulation. Who's to say? Not me, that's for sure. I've been known to butter up somebody. There's context. There's context that I have to talk about. And, well, if that makes you feel buttered, then the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? So there were some other criticisms of the No Kings rally, which was that the one here in Milwaukee anyway, kind of strayed from the path of like this being a like moderate and just like anti-fascist, very America-centered rally versus being something to collect all of the oppressive things all at once. Because I think someone so poignantly said that, you know, the struggle that we're facing here and the struggle being faced in Palestine and the struggle being faced in, you know, Sudan and the Congo, et cetera, like it's all the same struggle, in the sense that like until we stop it everywhere, it's not gonna stop. Or just like we're all in the same fight, which like I don't know, the more I talk about that and the more I say that, the more I feel like it's inappropriate to compare a genocide to like rogue kidnappings. Like the kidnappings are fucking scary, and do not get me wrong, like I see that is like harmful, and it's harmful on an individual level and a communal level, but we like just cannot look at people being like actively bombed and say like our fight's the same fight. Like even my fight is not the same as like people who are the targets of ICE. Like I have friends obviously who like could and may be targeted. Like if ICE is watching this, no the fuck I don't. None that I know of, but maybe I do. It's not my fucking business to know whether or not they like quote unquote have papers. Like that's not important to me as I move through the world. Actually, believe it or not, does not matter to me. Not to say it shouldn't matter at all. I don't know. I think the broad sweeping kind of claim against that one is the like nobody's illegal on stolen land. Like we're just making this shit up anyways. This is like important for like national security, I guess. But like we can have some error. Like there's going to be some error. And like it's not bad. Well, what is bad is like just sending people out of the country and being like, oh, the life that you have here, the family that you have here, like, see ya. I hope you liked it. I hope it was fun. I hope it was worth it. Like, that's crazy. But so, reeling this back, the No Kings rally could have had a bit more of like a cohesive anti-fascist, anti-Trump, anti-ICE, like stuff that we're dealing with over here. Not to say that, like, I think any kind of, you know, Free Palestine-esque commentary is not welcome or would fall on deaf ears necessarily, but, like, we were doing marches, like, we did a march, and the person who had the megaphone near us was not my favorite megaphone holder I've ever experienced. Let's just say that much. They were trying their best. I appreciate their effort and their resources, but they defaulted a lot to like a Free Palestine chant, and we were just like, this, like, now that we're marching and we're trying to like project this message to the masses, you know, by like people who hear it out their window, etc. Like public demonstrations are meant to be public, they're meant to be seen, and they're meant to be heard, they're meant to be reported on. And so how it comes off like matters a little bit. And so again, whether or not this commentary is like useful is I don't know, it's up for debate for me. Like at first when my friend was sharing this bit of information, so I'm also recycling this opinion. So shout out Adam. Like Adam was saying the bit about like things and the message kind of straying and being all over the place. And I was like, I don't know if it matters. Like it's kind of whatever. And but that's me as like somebody who like heard and agrees with generally the sentiment of the things shared. I think that there is some level of like imagination that we're all doing here of like the people that we are converting with this performance, with this protest. I think it's a bit like holier than thou to be like, that wasn't a protest, that was a rally. Like, okay, whoa. So apologies for not like performing our activism well enough. Like, I think that organizing and gathering like the collective action, getting people to show up is crazy. Like it is the demonstration of power. It is the protest itself. Like to show up and be like, the idea of no kings and like anti-fascist sentiment is appealing to me, and that it's a demonstration. It's a public demonstration. And so like if you want to be like, that's not a protest and it's just a rally, like let's maybe remember who the real enemy is here, like, and let's kind of uplift each other. And when people get engaged in the movement, like let's rally around that, you know, pun intended. But I do think the comment about the cohesive messaging was bang on, poignant as fuck, poignant as fuck. Some are saying, everyone is saying actually, that it's poignant, that it's great, it's the best thing they've ever heard. Oh, I forgot to change the subtitle on this one. Something else these are like meant to be quick topics. These are meant to be quick topics here at the top of the episode. And so one of my quick topics is, I'm just like was recalling and musing about the time that I was in a math class, at MSOE, and I learned that math is like controversial in the same way that other like STEM fields are, that like there are some things like when I learned that there was stuff in physics that they were like still discovering and still trying to, or like that there were competing viewpoints against, I was like, that is insane. I was like, these observations about the universe are not just like true. But I was willing to let physics go because I was like, whatever, the physical world, crazy. But like math must be true because like even with physics, you're using like mathematical models to be able to like predict behavior, right? And so I was like, math is truth. It turns out math is subjective. Math is subjective. A lot of math is widely accepted. Algebra, you know, geometry, things that we teach as part of like a core curriculum, generally looked upon favorably. But there's more like advanced math topics and more like research that's ongoing. And I was like, whoa, we're still learning shit about numbers? Like, that's crazy. So, anyways, I used to be like, what do people who study math even fucking do? Like, I mean, I used to be a big math girl. So, like, I am 100% the pot calling the kettle a fucking nerd. But anyway, math is crazy. Maybe I'll go back to school and study math. I don't know. I would much rather do that than study more software bullshit, dude. I don't know. There are sometimes where I'm like, I could study software and it like doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world. But most of the time it does. So that's why I generally don't do it. On a more fun note, I got into some new games recently. And actually, there's some old classics. One of them is going to be Rummy Cube. Don't know how to pronounce it. Nevertheless, it's like a rummy-based tile game. And oh, that shit's so fun. It's like quite a simple... So this is true of backgammon as well, where it's like... It's a simple enough, like, concept, and once you wrap your head around it, you can, like, see the strategy very tangibly. Like, it's a very approachable strategy, and it's unlike chess, where, like, what you do for an opening play... Well, actually, with backgammon, your opening play may matter a little bit, but it's also a dice game. And so there's just randomness in it. Like, you just kind of genuinely don't know what's going to happen. So I actually take that back. There are things you can do early on to set yourself up, but like, you are still at the mercy of the tiles that you draw, your initial 14 tiles for Rummy Cube, or the first few dice rolls you get. Because if you get doubles in backgammon, you get to do your turn twice, which is a crazy advantage. Like, it's so powerful. So rolling boxcars, bro. Boxcars. Rolling 2 6s is just like overpowered. It's OP'd. And so, anyways, these games are really fun if you can find them at a thrift store or something. Colin expressed the interest in getting like a nice backgammon board, and I was like, please don't bring more shit into my house. Like, I do not want more shit in here. Because we have a chessboard that the back of it is a backgammon board, so we can, it's a multifunctional piece of equipment, and I do love that. But I mean, it's not glamorous. It's not like stones. They're like wooden checkers that we use in a tiny little board. And so I get the appeal of wanting a nicer backgammon board, like I really do. But I'm like, where are we gonna put that shit? I guess that's like basement stuff, like, because our basement is our entertainment area. So whatever. Speaking of Colin, he listened to the last podcast and he has informed me that oysters are not a class thing. I was like, okay, whatever. I kind of don't care. I think they're stupid and gross. And that's maybe the impression I want to leave us with. Okay, nicotine update. So, I think the last time I talked to you, I was doing... No way I was on a daily cigarette. But maybe I was, like, tapering off from daily. And over the last few weeks, I had been doing, like, 1 cigarette a week, like, on the weekends or just, like, a random weekday. And now I probably haven't smoked for over a week. But I don't know, shit, I might roll up a little cigarette for the weekend. Like, I'm kind of enjoying having a, like, 1 cigarette as, like, a little treat. And I did finally like smoke a cigarette from a friend where I actually liked it, and I was like, ooh, like a gas station bought cigarette, because I famously hand roll my cigarettes because I'm what, better than you. I also call Colin my partner because I'm better than you, and I also suck the fart out of my own ass because I'm better than you. And I also smoke cigarettes occasionally because I'm better than you. Is this bit funny? I will say the smoking on the weekends is like, I don't know, it's very like Saturday or Friday behavior. Like a Friday, like after the long work week, it's like, whatever. Like, I need to chill out. Anyway, don't smoke, kids. Okay. Trump is making another guest appearance here because I want to talk about like doing a Trump impression. And I just want to say that my Trump impression sucks because I didn't invest into this early on. I didn't think he was still going to be relevant. And so I am late to the game, but I'm working on it. We're all working on it. We have some of the best people in the world. We're working on it. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Moving on. I forgot to update the subtitle again. Oh my god. I'm so sloppy. I just wanted to talk about Ed Sheeran because I was like a Sheeranator. I was a Eddie girl, and in high school, like in my early high school days, like the album Plus, I was bumping it. I was bumping it and I was shredding it and I was singing along to it and I loved it. And then I saw the Plus album on CD in a record shop and I was like, don't mind if I do. I was like, this one's going to be great. And so bought it, listened to it. I was like, unfortunately, this is not as good as I remember it, which feels crazy considering the level of like commercial success that Ed Sheeran has fallen into. I don't know if he's a Nepo baby or anything. Like, I don't know. That's none of my business. But I just like felt that I still felt favorably about him throughout the last, 10 years, even though he, like, the music that he went on to make didn't ever like make it into my regular listening habits. It was like stuff that I heard on the radio or at weddings, or God forbid, like an Ed Sheeran song comes on at the bar. Sometimes it happens. And so I just kind of wanted to be like, what's up with this guy? I don't know. Like, I don't think I have anything poignant to say about it. Just that, like, he is clearly like a talented musician and songwriter. I'm beating around the bush here, but I like don't want to say that he's like phoning it in because like I'm not a practicing songwriter and musician. Like, I kind of have no room to criticize him. Like, I couldn't be the pot calling him the kettle phony because I'm not a pot or a kettle. I'm trying to be a pot or a kettle, but like we're not there yet. That's all to say, like, I don't know, who am I to judge? And it's a bummer that I don't even like his old music in the same way that I did. Because I don't like his new stuff. And I thought I liked his old stuff, but I don't. It's just like, I don't know. I was rooting for you, dude, and now I just don't care. Sorry to the Sheeranators. Okay. For the feds that are watching this video, this is a joke. But physical spam mail I get, like spam mail that's trying to like incite me to pay them money, ooh bitch, don't get me started. Like, don't piss me off. I hate it. It makes me, as I say here, want to commit arson. Like, it makes me angry that people are trying to like scam. So maybe I mean physical scam mail. So I got this kind of like scam to help me file my annual report as a small business owner in the state of Wisconsin, my LLC, as a sole proprietor LLC. You have to file an annual report. It's like very quick, and it's just like putting your information in there. And that's the reason that my address is on the internet for everybody to see, like, because I don't have a fucking P.O. box because I'm stingy. And I said I'd rather have my physical fucking address out there than pay for a P.O. box. Whatever. Pretty sure you could look up my address before that happened. So, like, I don't know. I was never safe. But physical scam mail, they're trying to get me to use their service to make filling out my annual report easier. Like, they're trying to sell this quite literal, like, illusion that it's a challenging and time-consuming process, and it just isn't. And it costs like $25 and $1 for like the online processing fee. And so it would be like, it strikes me as absurd to try to use the service to do this for you. And so it pisses me off that they would try to like prey on people's lack of like knowledge or like insecurity that they're missing something to sell them something. Like, that just makes me so fucking mad. And then I'm like, and you're doing that to like small business owners? Oh my god, just like, don't piss me fucking off. Like, the things that they send you look real and they look very like formal, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel that the stuff they're sending is not obvious, and I just fucking hate scammers. Like, I know this is not like a unpopular opinion, but like, damn, it pisses me off. It just like makes me so mad. It makes me want to commit arson. So anyway, this is our first commercial break. I just wanted to shout out my homegirls who engage in the video and in my like Instagram and who follow me on Instagram. That is like metrics I can use to try to like solicit sponsors. And you know, like, in order for sponsors to like think it's worth advertising on my video, they have to like see engagement on it, like beyond the views. Like, if I say, you know, my engagement in my audience is like a higher percentage, then like I can argue for more money or something like that. I'm assuming. I don't really know because nobody's paying me yet. But I just wanted to shout out the people who engage and really encourage you that if you know me and love me, or if you are a loyal viewer, or if you are an unloyal viewer, like, it only helps me for you to engage with my content. So like, anything you're willing to do, like a like that you're willing to drop, or a comment, no matter what you intend to say, is really worthwhile, or like following my Instagram. So, because I also post my notes, like I post some notes throughout the weeks between episodes of what might be covered on the podcast, and so that's kind of fun. And then I also do little mini episodes, and I'm going to start posting short form content onto Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. That's exciting. So look out for that. Follow my shit, please. We're going to be back, and we're going to talk about Real Housewives. I feel quite delusional about these bangs looking good. I don't know. Like, genuinely, let me know what you think about the bangs and the beanie. Thank you. Now, I want to get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because I'm on season 4 now. I have binged. Well, not binged. But I've been kind of running back the episodes throughout the day, like at least one episode a day. And so I have a few different thoughts about it. One is that, like, I feel sometimes like, so this is my first Housewives franchise, and them being in Salt Lake City, there is the element of Mormonism, and often like people who are ex-Mormon are on the show. And that kind of ties it in with The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I loved. And so this is kind of similar. The women are aged up quite a bit. Like, these women are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whereas the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the women are like in their 20s, maybe their 30s. So this is my first Real Housewives series, and I watched on the recommendation of my friend Rachel, and I may have mentioned this last episode, and she was like, I promise, like, it's gonna get good, it's gonna be worth it. And so I'm on season 4, it's starting to be good and starting to be worth it. I've like really enjoyed the introduction of some of these new castmates. Like, I just am on the season where we've introduced Monica, and I fuck with Monica. Like, I think she's a real ass bitch, but like, you know, who among us are not without our flaws? I mean, come on. So I think she is doing her best. And Mom, if you're watching this, maybe skip ahead a few seconds, but I like watch her interact with her mom, and I feel like a lot of similarities and a lot of kinship in that sense. I don't know, I have a challenging relationship with everybody. Why wouldn't I also have a challenging relationship with my mom? Like, some are saying that's where it comes from. So the emotional complexity of this drama is like sometimes hard to wrap my head around. It is like so you like keeping up with like the thread that somebody else is on while they're fighting, like while two different people are like they're fighting two different versions of the argument, like they're not having the same conversation. And so keeping up with all that, and then the way that they react accordingly, and then like if somebody overreacts or like whatever's, and then there's always like they're just generally threatening each other with like rumors that they know. And rumors are kind of like at least at the stage that we're in right now in the drama, like they're kind of like the currency of bad bitchery. Like they're like, you don't want to know what I know. I'll say the things that nobody knows. And I think that the person, Meredith, who has been, taking this stance of like, I know these things and I'm keeping my mouth shut about it because I'm a classy woman. But if you guys are going to get dirty, then I'll get dirty too. And this girl is starting shit. Like, she's like, I can't believe you guys came up to me about the rumors I was spreading. Because I wasn't spreading rumors. I was just talking about the rumors and then saying, like, I don't know if they're true, but they seem quite absurd. Like, I think that she's about to get knocked down because Whitney called her out on the girls' trip. There's a girls' trip all the time. Lisa is like trying to mend her relationship, but is seeing now the same thing happen with Angie K. Angie K, the newer cast member. Angie K, I think I like. I don't think she says nice things, but I'm also like, I guess she and Jen were good friends, and Jen would not say nice things. But then Jen would be like could not take accountability for it. And so have yet to see if Angie K is like gonna apologize for maybe the way that she spoke about Meredith. I think she did actually. And so anyway, maybe I'm gonna cut a lot of this out, but there's a lot of emotional complexity that is sometimes like difficult to grasp all at once. Like there's a lot of nuance happening here, and there's a lot of like discussion to be had about like misogyny and class and like respectfulness. And it's just like it's a lot. So like it's a challenge to watch in that sense. Something else that I find perplexing, I think one of the things that give me pause, okay, is there is a castmate, Heather, who runs a company called Beauty Lab and Laser. And so they do like filler and Botox and evidently like laser. I'm assuming that's like laser hair removal, I don't know. But I don't know if it's like laser carving. That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy, actually. But she's like talked about how during the pandemic, like people were looking at themselves more, and so their business, boomed because people were feeling more insecure than ever. And I was like, that's really yucky. That's really yucky and icky. And I thought I was gonna have a lot to say about this, but I think my stance is just that it's yucky and icky. Like, I think as deep as I could go with this and be like, it's like, and want to take some moral stance that like these beauty treatments are preying on people, namely women's like insecurities, and what a dirty, filthy business to be in. I would rather, I think, it be like a woman selling than it be like a man selling. If we have to pick between those two genders only, like if those are the only two options on the table. Not saying that they are or they should be. The Gab with Sab cinematic universe recognizes all genders. Shout out. But so she like owns this thing, and she's like, yeah, like she's like, my business is doing so good. We're gonna like open up a second location because the demand is just like so crazy. Like we can't deal with it all. And I'm like, damn, like you're getting that much business like on a regular basis from people getting like cosmetic surgery, like minor cosmetic surgery. And like they don't strike me as doctors is the thing too. Like I know that people will use Botox to like treat like TMJ, TMMJ, TTMJ, TMJJ, the fucking shit where your jaw like hurts a lot and it gives you like headaches and stuff. Mandibular jaw, no clue, no clue. But and I'm not, and so I like when it comes to cosmetic surgery and up to and including filler and everything like that, I ultimately take the stance that like I have no business like policing what other people do with their bodies. That is up to them, and I would never want to take away the like ability for them to choose. I do think the like introduction of this choice, and because it is like a recent phenomena to like do these things that are more like invasive surgeries to alter your appearance. And for some reason, like the idea of like going under the syringe or under the knife like just like fits in a different level of risk that we're talking about when we talk about like beauty procedures. And I don't actually know what the risks are. I just like feel also that the like long-term effects of the like filler and Botox and stuff being in your skin is like not really seen and talked about enough before people are like going to get these procedures done. Like I don't think it's something that's being like marketed ethically. And so I don't know how they engage in their business and stuff like that, but I just like there is a lot about like cosmetic surgery that gives me pause, and it does not give me stop. Notably, it, and again, like what people do with their bodies is like I think completely their business. But I think that there must be an ethical way to do it, and we're not doing it. And I'm like, there's no way she's doing it. So I like Heather. I think she's really funny, but her business concerns me. And so I'm talking shit on her business and her family. And so for that reason, I should be terrorized voraciously. And the last thing I'll say about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is that Joseph Smith, one of the like founders of Mormonism, no, it's not Joseph Smith, it's Brigham Young, one of the like early Mormon figureheads, famously of Brigham Young University, the university in Salt Lake City that is a Mormon university. And Brigham Young famously fathered like over 100 kids, and so his lineage in the US is like quite prominent compared to like other people, like normal people. And so one of his traits was that he had webbed toes, and so a lot of people in his lineage also have webbed toes, and you're never going to believe who has webbed toes. Me and my mom. And I think her mom before her. So like I don't know when it got into our gene pool, but it's there now. And so I think about our gene pool in the sense that I'm not like, the thing is like Sabrina Stangler does not have great genes. Like my genes are unfortunately quite recessive in a bad way. Like I have webbed toes, not necessary. Not helpful actually at all. Maybe even detrimental to my balance. I don't know. I have scoliosis, so my spine curves laterally. I am lactose intolerant, potentially gluten sensitive. My eyes have been bad for most of my life. Like I have had glasses since middle school. I get pretty bad acne. Shout out Curology. Ooh, I gotta reach out to them. I would do a Curology sponsorship. Because I've been using them since like 2019, maybe even 2018. So I'm going to do that, but I'm short. I will say the places that like the fat in my body goes to are not the worst, because it goes to like my butt and my thighs and like my boobs and my stomach, which like are not inconvenient places to have it. Like it would be more inconvenient to have it like in my calves or in my arms, because then I would have to wear bigger sweatshirts. I mean, I have to wear bigger pants as a result, but I don't know. Also, like a dumpy is quite favorable in today's day and age. and in many parts of history. So, not that my sex appeal is my only value, but it doesn't hurt. Does not hurt. So anyways, I have all these recessive genes, or I don't know if they're recessive, but they're the fucking weaker variant. They're the weaker, it's weak shit. And so I wonder about passing this on to children. So anyway, we'll be right back. Okay, team. Really quickly, I want to talk about Canva because I used Canva to redesign the logo for this podcast. And I just think it's a really sick tool. I think they have really good ads because I think it's like genuinely a good product. And it's easy to market a good product, basically. Like, it's something where like their free version is quite fully featured. They're not like keeping the things that make it a valuable platform behind a paywall. There are some things that make it a more valuable platform, but like on its own, it's like providing, I think, enough value that it is like a public good. So anyway, shout out Canva. Love them. I would love if they sponsored me. And so I'm going to reach out to them too. Guys, I'm losing faith in the bangs as the moments go on. I'm losing faith in the bangs and the beanie. But so, my insecurities aside, I want to dog on some people. And so I'm thinking of, again, things that give me pause. So when people say that they are into aerospace engineering and that they work with the government and they, how you say it, need government clearance, you know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, I had to get level whatever. Hey, can you attest to being my roommate? So like, they know that I'm a trustworthy person. And I've titled this slide Blood on Keys because I feel that you, as a software engineer, and this is something I take very seriously as a person who took the oath of the engineer or whatever. So I have my Order of the Engineer pinky ring. Okay, bitch. A humble titanium or whatever fucking material it is ring that's really important to me. I take ethics and like ethical work like very seriously, as I think many people do. And it gives me pause to think about willingly and consciously using my time and my skills to like contribute to inhumane acts on other people, like to contribute to killing people. Like, I could not imagine being in like weapons manufacturing right now with the like ongoing genocide in Palestine and all of the other ongoing fucking atrocities. Like, I can't ever really imagine being a weapons dealer. Like, so what I'm talking about though is like engineers, because this is like, so for those of you who don't know, I am a software engineer by training, by trade. And there was like a lot of sentiment from some of my peers that was like, oh, I love like aerospace, not even just among software engineers, but among engineers in general. And they're like, and so I'm clowning it right now because I feel like it lent itself to people taking an attitude towards working with like the Department of Defense as something that's like just par for the course or like a necessary evil of like getting into aerospace, kind of like we can't all work for NASA. And now there is SpaceX, which is, you know, created a lot of jobs for people who like aerospace. You know, I'm sure the aerospace girls are loving SpaceX. But I feel like there were just like a lot more of my peers than I expected who were like willing and ready to be like, it doesn't bother me to work on, and I guess I'm making some assumptions here, but like saying that they're like comfortable working with the Department of Defense. I mean, at a time, I think I thought I was gonna work for Collins Aerospace, formerly Rockwell Collins, and they are out of Iowa. They're out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. There we go. And they had a defense contract, but it was two different like sides of the business. Like there was like the commercial side and the government side. And so you don't necessarily work for one or the other. And so I have to imagine that that's true of other companies. So like I have a lot of like, while it gives me pause, again, it like does not give me stop. It just gives me pause when people are like, I'm into aerospace and I work for a company that like helps fuel the war machine, basically. Like it gives me enough of an ethical pause that I'm like, I will seek work in literally any other industry. Like, I mean, there are other like scam business I obviously feel strongly about, but it's like, you don't have to work in this industry. Like, pick a different one, girl. Like, are you telling me that none of them are interesting to you? Like, nothing else besides aerospace is interesting to you? And are you like entitled to pursue your, like, what you're passionate about? And like, are you really only passionate about one thing? Like, that's it. It's aerospace that really does it for you. Like, when I say that, I feel like I'm being mean. Because I'm like, is your, I don't know, is your like pursuit of happiness more important than like the ethics of your work? Because they have an impact on other people. Like, even if you're not making like weapons that are going to like fucking Israel or something crazy, like what we learn in the commercial space gets learned in, I was gonna say what we learn in the commercial space like will eventually get learned in the government space too, but then I'm like, that goes for everything. Like, oh, you should never do an innovation because it could make war happen. Like, that doesn't make sense. On the complete other hand, like when I think about defense and like armies or the military, I am generally thinking of like their wrongdoings. However, I can see an angle where you are saying like, this is my contribution to strengthen like my country. Because if we're gonna, like, I want us to have the ability to protect ourselves and like protect myself and like the people I love, me and my fellow Americans. And kind of like, if that means that I have blood on my keys, I'm willing to carry that weight so that like me and my family are protected. And that's a very patriotic angle. One that, of course, I'm famously so familiar with being a patriot. I love the US as it is, literally changed nothing. But I'm just kind of like, get a hobby. I don't know. Like, people who work in aerospace, just like, there's got to be something else. Like, go do that. Go do that. Maybe one day you'll work for NASA. It'll be really great. Maybe you should vote so that NASA gets funding. Maybe you should vote like that. Just a suggestion. So, anyway, that's kind of my complicated feelings on why that gives me pause, but why it does not give me stop when people say they're into aerospace. I've got another thing that gives me pause, and it actually gives me awes, because I was talking to somebody who works for AWS, and I was kind of clowning on them, and like, when it started, I really didn't mean it to be like that, but then he just was like coping so hard, in my opinion, right? Like, again, I'm the antagonist here. Like, I'm the one kind of like harping on him, because I asked him, he was talking about metrics and shit, and I was like, do you ever feel like you're chasing growth, like just for growth's sake, like just to satisfy the board, to satisfy like that growth must be good, and so that's what we're pursuing? And he was like, well, blah 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 blah, you know, like the metrics are like, you know, when our product has a higher uptime, you know, like our customers are happier, and so those are metrics that we can measure our success in. And I was like, okay, sure, right. And because I said it like that, basically I was like, right. Somebody else chuckled, and I was like, fuel to my fire. I'm about to go off. I'm about to go in. And I just kind of kept hounding on him, and I was like, well, actually, I don't even think I kept dogging on him. I think he just kind of continued to talk and like thought that I had made like an offensive move. I could be misreading this whole thing. Like, AWS guy, if you're watching this, I did not mean any ill intent, but I am definitely laughing. I am sorry, but it was really funny listening to you cope about working for big tech, because throughout the evening he went on to say things like, he said one of Amazon's values is frugality. And so when he travels for work, often he will get his hotel room downgraded if a cheaper one becomes available. He will show up to career fairs with a stack of stickers and sometimes a branded tablecloth. I was like, that's crazy. You know, like when you think about, for those of you who have not been to a career fair, they handed out a bunch of free shit, like branded water bottles or branded whatever. Like they come up with all kinds of cool shit. And there's companies selling this stuff like for this explicit purpose, for companies to like put their branding on and like give away. And AWS is just like, no, we're just gonna have stickers. Because so for those of you who don't know as well, I should have mentioned this. AWS is Amazon. It's Amazon Web Services. It's like a cloud service, basically. And so they provide infrastructure for software to run on across the world. They're like what makes stuff available in the cloud like possible. One of many providers. Okay, there's like a lot of people that do this. AWS is one of the big ones, unsurprisingly, because it's Amazon, right? Like Amazon is huge. It's huge. And so another thing that this guy said was, you know, something you just have to accept about being in big tech is that you could lose your job at any second, and that Amazon cuts, they fire, they lay off systematically the bottom 10% performers of the company every single year. What the fuck? He said it's so that there is churn. I'm sorry? You want there to be churn? You want to like cut people's employment out from under them because what they were in the like bottom 10% of performers? That is like grading on a curve. It's so stupid. Like there's a reason we don't do that shit anymore. And so he said that a lot of their middle management was like quitting because they didn't have the stomach to fire people who had been there for like 5 years and quote unquote by this guy like earned their stay, like earned their right to have a job. And as a like a pro union, like pro laborer in the chat right now, like this is just sending my flags flying. I'm like, that's crazy that you would elect to do this. Like, that's crazy that you would elect to work for the government and build war machines. It's crazy that you would be like, yes, I do want to work for this massive company that values frugality and not the lives of its employees. Because, now the warehouse, the like fulfillment center people get Prime for free. Not corporate though, not corporate. And that just made me laugh because I was like, damn, they're like, pay for it. Pay for it. We want your $60. I'll take it. I guess they don't want people working there just because the bennies are good. But this guy did say that he gets paid well for the Midwest. And he said, yeah, the job market's shit anyway. And I was like, no doubt. Call back from earlier. So I don't know. There was somebody chuckling next to me. I thought it was all in good fun. At the end, he like went to connect with me on LinkedIn, and this was at a networking event. I forgot to say this. This was at a networking event for like tech and creative professionals to kind of like come together. And so he went over by the stand that was called Tech Enthusiasts, and much to my surprise, I saw that when he connected with me that his role at AWS is as an account manager. And so I was like, respectfully, you are barely in tech. Like, you work in tech the same way an HR person works in tech. Like, yeah, you work for a big tech company. I wouldn't call your role very like technology centered. I don't know what account managers do at AWS, to be fair. Like, I could be totally wrong there, but I really don't think I am. And so it just like was funny hearing him cope this hard, just to like not even have this be an elite kind of job as an engineer or as like a technician or as something that you're like, oh, I get to work on this like product at scale and there's like interesting problems that come from doing this, and I like get to work on a product that impacts a lot of people. and that's like used by other developers too. Like it's cool, and for that reason, account managers are just like trying to make the clients happy and like get their stuff, make it so that the engineers implement it how the clients want. And just, I was gonna say soulless work, that feels a bit harsh, but like it's no working at NASA, I'll tell you that much. So I don't know, I feel like kind of bad. I feel kind of bad for how I was like chatting shit and how I was interpreting it. Like the narrative I was building in my head was that this guy elected to work for Amazon, and he's volunteering this information. Like, I'm not prying about it. Maybe I pried a little bit in the beginning, but like at this point he's just saying it for saying it. And so it's not my fault that the proof is in the pudding. Like, it's not my fault that you work for a big tech company that fires the bottom 10% of its employees, regardless of their tenure. They might just have a bad year, you said, and that's just kind of the cost of doing business. So like, I'm like, you elected to do this, so I'm electing to clown on you a little bit. Yeah. Okay, totally different topic. Shifting gears completely. Let's do a deep breathing exercise before we get into this next one. Breathing in and breathing out. Stream Level 5 by Fairy Astronaut. Okay, next I want to talk about a quote from a song that I like from an artist that I listen to, and it is "Uncomfortability breeds growth." And I want to talk about the idea of seeing discomfort as like a bad sign and trying to reframe discomfort as like a part of growing, versus the idea of like seeking discomfort out in order to achieve growth. Like, not seeing discomfort as a side effect and like instead chasing that side effect with the assumption that like the predicate will follow. And I don't know how I feel about that idea of like seeking discomfort. Like, I know there was like the content channel like Yes Theory or whatever, where they were like, I think they sold like sweatshirts that said like seek discomfort. And there was one of my friends and colleagues, if you will, in college, one of my literal colleagues, my colleagues would say this like, you know, if I'm gonna grow, I need to be as like uncomfortable as possible, or I need to like, if the average person like spends, you know, 30% of their time being comfortable, then if I want to be not average, then I need to be more uncomfortable. And like, I need to not be doing what, you know, the majority of people are doing. I need to be doing different things than the majority of people. And I was like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I kind of see what you're going for, but I don't know if that is like, I don't know if it works like that. Like, I think when you say that like growth is uncomfortable, it means like when you like, I guess, organically experience discomfort, that like you should welcome it and not shy away from it. But seeking out discomfort is totally different. I think if you are uninhibited completely, like, then it would make sense to have the attitude that I'm purporting. Like if you could do anything, then don't let something being uncomfortable stop you. But on the flip, like, you might need to like break your chains, like get out of your like quite literal comfort zone more actively. And it might not just come as the result of like pursuing your passions. Like, and so are you growing if you're only pursuing things within your comfort zone? And what is your comfort zone anyway? I don't know. Who's to say? Moving on. So the artist in question from the last slide, that's going to be Breakins. Okay. And so Breakins, spell that out, Brakence, Breakins. And that's going to go ahead and probably be my favorite artist, because I listen to their music more than anybody else and have quite obsessive listening habits. And so when I like get into listening to it, I'm like listening hard. And I feel like the reason I wanted to talk about this is because like I feel that I'm trying not to be weird about it whenever I like tag him in an Instagram story cuz he's my top artist, right? Or like tag him or like tagged in a concert video or I've sent him a DM that he has not opened and an email and where I was like, "Hey, I made some merch. Like I made a design with your name and like a song concept on it and like maybe you want to see it, so like there you go." And you can tell in like the way I'm saying this, I'm like trying not to be weird on the off chance that I ever like do meet him. I want to be not like a crazy fangirl. But what's wrong with being a fangirl? I don't know. I'm like I want to be able to have like a friendship with him. Or I not like well, yes, like, but I just like want that to be on the table, and if I'm fucking weird about it, then like it's not going to be on the table. So I'm just doing my part to not make it fucking weird. And maybe it's an intrusive thought. Maybe I'm ruminating. Again, who is to say? Moving on. Shit I'm saying. You've heard of hitting the Benjamin. You've heard of ripping the Benjamin. Maybe you've even heard the Pennifer Lawrence. But I'm here to introduce hitting the Penelope. It's crazy that we don't have this yet. It's like, spread this like wildfire. I want everyone saying it. I think that this is, like, once people hear it, they're going to be like, duh. And I think women especially who, or even just like gender non-conforming people who did not want to have a traditionally masculine name for their dab pen, hitting the Penelope, traditionally feminine name. There we go. There we go. You're welcome, guys. Now go forth and spread the good word. Lastly, I think this is the last thing. I have been getting a lot of content on Instagram and TikTok alike. I've like been delving back into TikTok just a little bit, and I am getting this content that is like, hey guys, we're on the wrong side of the algorithm. Like we're getting the wrong demographic right now. And so can you engage with our video so that we get sent to the right demographic? And here's the thing. I think that a lot of them are lying. And would it be so bad if they were? Because it's like small artists, like independent artists, or like queer creators, or especially like trans creators. Like, so trans creators, I feel like they are going through enough. I'm going to engage with their content unless they're spewing like anti-trans rhetoric, right? Like, and there's some people that do that. Like, if you can imagine it, it's there. When it's like independent artists, I'm like, I know that you are lying, because like how convenient is it that you got, and now you need me to engage in your content? Like, I don't know why this gives me so much pause, like why I just am so skeptical. But I think where I'm coming from is that I don't know if I should reward them by engaging in their content, like, because like they don't really need to get saved from the algorithm. They're not actually in trouble. Because then I'll like look at their comments and I'm like, okay. And maybe it's because it's working. I don't know. Who's to say? Moving on. Our content shout out of the week is Matt Bernstein. Excellent, phenomenal. Phenom. Okay, basically I'll just say they make content on YouTube that is like a podcast. So I believe it's available on other platforms as a podcast, but I watch it as a video, called A Bit Fruity, where they talk often with like other journalists or other like professionals in whatever industry is relevant to the video. And they talk about like current events and politics, and like it's just phenomenal content, like incredibly well produced and executed. Like clearly there is a script, but there's also like improvisation upon that, of course, and it's just like it's so well done. And because it's so well scripted, the like thesis of the video is very clear, and it's really good. It's really good stuff for like a video essay. They also are quite active on the Instagram. I'm sure also on the TikTok, but I don't personally follow them there. But they're active on Instagram, and so I share a lot of their stuff because they will put their kind of like commentary about whatever political situation is going on. They have the format of like the background that hues from blue to pink, and then with the white italicized bold text. And they just have very poignant takes, dare I say. Like, they're just very, very good. So if you don't follow them on Instagram, let's get to it. I want to see it. Consider subscribing on YouTube, but definitely follow on Instagram. If you are similar to me and you are like, I don't know, generally an ally to the people, like, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you for watching my episode. Thank you for commenting about my microbangs and the beanie. Let me know what you think. Follow Gab with Sab on Instagram and subscribe, like the video, all that stuff. You know, engage with my video because it gets it seen by more people, like plain and simple. I got the hiccups. But anyway, thank you for watching. Even if you just watched all the way to the end and you don't engage with it, like, watching the entire thing is crazy. That's not something you just do. And so I appreciate it.